Hello there.
Oh, hello there.
Hi, Max. Perfect. I wanted to see you.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you too. Hey, listen, I wanted to do a how to install Timon video with you. And this is the perfect time. If you have some time, we can show everybody how to install the new versions with AI.
Wow, mate, I'm pumped. But first of all, you are the inventor of Timon, right? So maybe we should describe a little bit what was the original intention of Timon. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. I can. I mean, many people have helped out around the world, but the idea from the beginning was we knew that there were so many people who were new to using Teams specifically, and we wanted to make sure that you had someone to answer the most commonly asked questions that Microsoft always received. How do I do this? How do I invite a guest to my team? How many people can join a meeting? What is OneDrive? Like all these questions around Teams specifically and some around Microsoft 365. So we created Timon for that purpose. It was originally created in Swedish, but then it was so popular, so we grow into English and German, Chinese, Polish, Italian, Norwegian, Korean, French.
Yeah, I remember that well. It was quite some work to check those 110 questions or topics within PVA, and that was quite cool.
And extremely time consuming. It took a team about at least 3 weeks to translate all the content completely with, high quality.
Yeah.
But now we have AI that helps Timon just expand beyond what we could ever dreamed of when we started it a few years ago.
Awesome. So you're going to show me how to implement it?
I'm going to show you and you're going to help me. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get my Explorer shirt on here. Now we're going to go and be brave and just explore the new frontiers of Timon, really. So we'll just do this together. And while you're watching this, feel free to skip ahead. And we will be showing a US only version at the end of the video. So if you're in the US and you're looking for that specific version, you'll just skip ahead. Otherwise, feel free to stay around for this part, as it will be relevant for anyone in any country in the world. So let's start. I'll just share my screen and we'll take it from there, just as a normal person would start deploying Timon from the beginning.
Cool, let's go.
Cool, let's go. So I'm sharing my screen and just gonna open a browser and head off to aka.ms/Timon. The link will be in the description. And I end up here and I get to meet Timon for the first time. Look at that. I should say at the time of this recording, we have English, we have a US version, we have German, French, and Swedish with the new AI capabilities. Pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah. More to come, mate. More to come.
More to come. And by the way, I'm Swedish and Max is German, so there's a reason for us being able to do those quicker on our own, but the community will help us provide the rest. We have AI now. It's very interesting. This is, again, just flashbacks from what Timon is, if you're not familiar. So it has been used as an FAQ both previously, but is now an AI-powered adoption Copilot for Teams, Microsoft 365, and so much more.
Wow. What a beautiful page this is, huh?
Right? Nice. It used to be purple, but you had me change the color to black yesterday. So I understand why you enjoy it. All right, we're going to be quick about this. We just want to, because it can be confusing with different versions. We just want to tell you that currently there's 2 versions of Timon. Timon AI Hybrid. It's globally available. It's available in multiple languages, and you have to use your own private Azure OpenAI service. It runs in your tenant. The data stays within your tenant boundaries, all the good stuff. So that's option number 1. There's also an option number 2. It you are in the US, so at the time of this recording, this is only available in the US. And in this case, you don't have to use your own private Azure OpenAI service. Instead, you can use the built-in service directly in Copilot Studio. And it's quite interesting because it makes things a little bit more easier. And you're also able to limit the knowledge in a way that we'll show at the end of the video.
That's everything that we recently announced on Ignite, right? This is the newest stuff, a glimpse into the future for all the other languages that are not available yet, right?
Yes. But regardless if you're in the US or if you're somewhere else, you might actually have reasons to pick, to like one or the other versions. So, but that's it. There's more information about this page. Obviously, Max, you enjoy the GitHub page, so that's where you can just fly off quickly. I just wanted to show people that as we get more AI versions up and running, you can use the menu here. You'll see which ones are AI enabled. In this case, we have the AI only version for the US. We have an English version for any country, then Swedish, German, French, with more versions to come. But these are the ones that are AI enabled right now. So we're just going to start with the AI hybrid version in English that you can deploy in any country in the world. And let's go. Oh, wow. Right here in GitHub, there's documentation that you can read. There's screenshots. There's everything. But this is a video and you're watching it for a reason. So let's just show them how to do it, Max, and we'll take it from there. So I'm just going to choose English, I guess, if you're okay with us doing.
Yeah, let's go with English. Yeah.
All right. And here you can see you have the two versions. We're going to start with the AI hybrid one. So it tells me that I need these two files for the AI hybrid one. So I'm just going to do that. Just pick them off of here. Just click it and then download the side there. That's the first one. And then we're going to pick up the empty Teams app as well and download that. So one is the actual Copilot, Timon, and the other one is the Teams app that enables Timon to pop up in Teams on your phone, on your desktop in a very, very nice way. Okay, I'm done. Next step, I guess, would be to just jump into Teams and start deploying.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, let's go.
So where are you going there, mate?
Yeah.
You were mentioning that Timon is like an adoption bot and it's helping users with getting started with Teams and everything.
Yeah.
I do have a real life use case.
Okay.
One of my neighbors here, he's a firefighter in the local fire brigade.
Okay.
And they are starting to adopt Teams. So maybe we can later use this as a use case for Timon to show how it can help with getting started.
Of course. Sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Timon is really specifically trained to help you with Teams, Microsoft 365, all Microsoft products and services, really, which is quite amazing. It's not a professional firefighter, but let's see what we can do.
We're not either, right?
Yeah. Let's see what we can do. So I'm going to be Rafiki Nelson for now, as the administrator, doing some stuff here to deploy Timon, and we'll take it from there. So first thing I need to do is create a team. So I'm just going to do that quickly. We're doing everything from scratch in this video. If you already have a team, you can skip this, but we want to show people how to do it from the beginning. So I'm just going to create a team from scratch. You can choose whatever works for you. I'm just going to keep it public for now. And I'm just going to call it Timon's support team, for example. Name it whatever you want. Just creating it like this. And we're going to add 2 channels. Look at that. We're already doing nice work. Let me add someone to the team. It would be nice with 2 owners. Let me add Julian here. Just make him an owner because we're nice. Done. Okay, so we have our team. Let me just add 2 channels and then we'll be ready to open an environment for Copilot Studio. So, sorry, I wasn't going to add a member there. Creating a new channel. Here we go. Create new channel. There we go. So we'll do one for feedback. Look at that. And feedback. Users. Standard channel. Let's go.
Users basically have the option to provide feedback back to the Timon admin team, basically telling them, hey, that was a great experience, or maybe there's something we could improve.
Yeah.
Especially when you use it for internal content additionally, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is optional, but we recommend that you run through it, and then you can decide on what you want to keep and what you want to disable. Just depends on your preferences. So we have 2 channels. We have this little support team. Perfect. Now I'm going to move over to the Copilot Studio app in Teams. At the time of this recording, it's called Power Virtual Agents, which is what Copilot Studio evolves out of. So it might be called Power Virtual Agents when you're doing this, or it could have the new name Microsoft Copilot Studio in Teams. Great. We're just going to hit start. And now we're going to choose the team that we created, where we want Timon to be created. So just choosing the team, creating the environment. We don't need to stick around here. This is actually incredibly fast. Although, I mean, some of you might be unlucky, but it's very quick. You can go and do something else. As soon as it's ready, we'll get a notification up here saying that, oh, the environment is created, and
Bam, there it is.
bam, there it is. Oh, all right. So here's the notification. It's ready. We're good to go. And that means we have a little team environment where our Copilot can be imported. So that's good. Step 1 completed. Then we're going to go to Flow. It's just the easiest way to do it. Just trust us on this. So flow.microsoft.com, flow.microsoft.com,
Or make.powerautomate.com.
or make.powerautomate.com. We'll have the links maybe showing in the video as we're talking. And you'll just go to Solutions, and then you make sure that you're in the right place. So in the top right, you can see all the environments that you have access to. In this case, we want to choose the new one that we created for our team, Timon Support Team. So make sure that you're in the right environment. It's a common mistake to not check this, but when you're here, it'll say where you are. And then we're just going to import right here, just import solution. I'm just going to browse to the files that we downloaded. Here it is, Timon AI Hybrid. I'm just going to hit next here. And this is how we're importing Timon. These are some of the flows that help you get feedback from users. Timon will send you the feedback to that team. Again, these can be disabled, right? Max doesn't like to get feedback on his work sometimes. It just, there's no feedback loop, nothing. You just, no one can reach him. So
Directly to the bin, yeah. Definitely.
You would probably disable this. So I'm just creating the connections here. I'm just following the steps. Oh, sorry.
That was the wrong account.
Yeah, I saw the wrong account. That's good. Good to show people that you can make mistakes. So make sure that you're creating the right account, using the right account. I suggest a systems account or an admin account. It works with your personal account, but maybe you're not working in the same place forever. So it's a good idea. You can change these accounts afterward, but we recommend a service account or an admin account for the connections. Okay, good. So we've done the first one, and now we're just doing the second one for Office 365. And this enables us to have access to the user name, for example, in when you're talking to the bot. Good. Refresh. All the connections are done. Importing. And we're on our way, Max. Are you excited? I mean, look at this.
Well, yeah, I'm so excited to see the AI features, man. This is awesome.
It's actually a revolution. I mean, you're getting the hybrid version. So you have the non-AI capabilities, which are still pretty cool. And it's been used by many, many people all over the world. So that's interesting. But yeah, I know you're looking forward to seeing the AI.
Yeah. I mean,
abilities.
Seeing that in action always is fun because you can play around with it, try different things, and see how it reacts. And I think this is also fun for the users to use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
give some more opportunities, right? So, yeah, basically we need maybe to describe why we need this environment, basically, right? When we are creating this team, this is where Timon lives. It creates a Dataverse for Teams database where we can import all the stuff. This is also, the grounds needed that we can have that data and information that basically the bot has to answer, or that Copilot, as we should say nowadays.
Yeah. So Rafiki Nelson is waiting here for the import to complete. It usually takes about 50 seconds, give or take. It's also good to know if you're doing this, we might have, we might edit in a fancy loading, effect or something, but this is the only thing you really get in the environment. You just have a gray bar that says it's working on it, and eventually this will turn green. And that's the only sort of loading indication that you have. So there's nothing wrong. It's working as intended. We do recommend that you just keep the tab open and you can move around and you can...
And you know what? Stay hydrated, mate. Also drink some water.
That's a small little German glass you have there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The big Swedish one, huh? Both. Cool. But I think it's a Swedish glass, like from
Really?
the big company, right?
Oh,
Everyone knows.
maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
This is not a sponsored video, but it's from that company.
Cannot call any names.
So we're waiting here in real time. It should be finished soon. What we could do in the meantime is actually we could upload the themes. Oh, it's already done. Look at that.
Cool.
So it's done. Perfect. And now we can actually go to Copilot Studio and look at Timon for the first time. Or if you're Max, you're very, structured, organized, and you want to fix some of the flows first, maybe. So let's see.
Yeah, let's do this maybe. Huh?
Let's do that. I just saw you looking at me and I was like,
Yeah.
better fix it. Otherwise, I'm going to get in trouble. So I'm just clicking the Common Data Services default solution. This is where everything ends up. So you can see all these curated topics. But you'll also notice that we have an AI topic here. Exciting. So stay tuned to understand what that is all about. I'm going to use the left menu here to filter out the flows and just connect them to the two channels that we created. So if a user sends feedback, it will come into that channel. Everything can be changed, but let's just set it up for now. So I'm just going to start with the feedback one, edit, and it will take me into that flow. You see I have the new environment here with Copilot, which actually is really awesome because it helps me, helps Max and I build flows. If you're not familiar with flows, this is a great way to get help if you want to achieve something. So in this case, I'm just going to jump into the action here that posts the feedback to a channel. And you see I have to change the team and the channel here. So I'm just going to add a team, choosing the one we created, and then a channel. This is for feedback. So I'm just going to pick the feedback channel here. Done. Then I'm going to click save. And
so again, the reason here why we need to do it is every team ID, every channel ID is unique in every tenant. So we exported it from our tenants. You imported different IDs are given. So you need to change this the first time you do it.
Correct.
And I think it's doing very well.
Yeah. I just went ahead. Sorry, Max. I just went ahead to do the second one, which was about the user questions. I'm just, it's the same operation, just a different flow. Saving it, and we're done. So those are the only two things that you need to choose so you get them in the place that you want them to go. If you don't set this up, you will see an error that, oh, the flow has not been set up. It's not working, which is not an ideal user experience, perhaps. All right. So now let's head over to Copilot Studio. Actually, don't need all these tabs, but clean up a little bit. So now we're heading over to Microsoft Copilot Studio, where we will have it.
It gives me the feeling of AI already.
Right? It's exciting. So Rafiki here is also excited. He's got his little buddy here. And you can see that it's empty. But again, remember what we taught you. Make sure you're in the right environment. So again, top right, choose your environment, because you can have multiple copilots, custom copilots that do very specific things. And it's a very good idea to have them in different environments for different reasons, depending on who's creating them and stuff like that. So now we're in the right place. I can click Copilot and we can see that Timon, the AI hybrid version, has been imported. It is not using the built-in features. We're going to use our own Azure OpenAI service. So that's why it says classic here. But this will work in any country worldwide. So currently, the new features that we are talking about here, this might look different when you're trying Copilot Studio. This is for the US only region, the US region only at this time. So you will not see these features unless you deploy and host your Copilot in the United States region. Okay, let's have a look at this. Quickly, we can just say hi. That's always nice, just to say hi. Just to see if there's someone there. If Rafiki is all alone or if he actually has a friend now. Look at that. Hi, Rafiki Nelson. Hi. What's up? First time it's running. Always
Still typing. Yeah.
Still typing, figuring out what to do.
Yeah.
There you go. I was picking a GIF, picking the right GIF for the first impression. I'm Timon. I answer questions about Teams, Microsoft 365, and more. For example, how do I add people to a team, accessibility in Teams, what's the max number of people you can have in a meeting, and then we can see that we can actually ask AI or talk to a real person, since we set up those flows that will send questions if you, for some reason, you want to send your question to a real person. That's good. And quickly, if this is your first time using a Copilot like this, or it's the first time you're in the Microsoft Copilot Studio, which used to be the Power Virtual Agents place, this is what it looks like. And you can see that we have all these topics, like Max and I talked about, that are included. If you don't use AI, they will still work. However, it's crucial to understand how amazing Timon just expands with the latest.
Yeah, let me just add that one point. I mean, this talk to a real person stuff we built in to make it possible to add different topics that we didn't think of back in the time. Didn't think of while we are maintaining it, or it might be something that your business needs. That gets back to you into a Teams channel. You can see what people are in need of, and then maybe build your custom topics around it and add them to Timon. Right?
I think we should actually show how that looks in the Teams interface while we're done. We're just here to just see that it works. Just show you as an administrator or creator, author of a Copilot. This is what it looks like, and you have all this. It's already done for you. Everything is set up. And we also have an AI topic that we'll talk about. I think we can go ahead and have a look at the AI topic just now. I know we're excited to talk to Timon, but we can do that in Teams. Maybe it's a good idea to I'm just going to ask an old school question, non-AI, just
schoolmate, depending on the viewpoint.
How do I invite a guest to? Not using AI, Timon asked me to clarify because there are multiple answers about guests. So it's not how they join, it's how I add one to a team. And then we get a curated answer. These are good answers. And you can see that, your organization might have different, settings for allowing guests. You can edit all of this. If you're not allowing guests, you can just say that we're not allowing guests for this policy reason. You can delete this information. But it's a perfectly good answer for how to invite a guest if you're a team owner, and then it tells you how to do it. So that's nice, and you have some links here to up-to-date information. This is actually really, really good, but again, this is only the pre-AI era, right?
Yeah.
You can be nice here. If you say yes, you'll get to rate the answer. If you say no, Timon will ask you if you can get help in another way, asking AI, share the feedback, send the question to internal expert, whatever way you would like to. Obviously, this is super exciting. So we're going to try that soon. And yeah, that's just the basics of how you can use what's already built in without going to the AI topic. But let's have a look at this.
Let's do it.
Let's go in here and let's actually set it up. So we'll show everyone what to do. So here is the topic. When you use Ask AI or type AI, you will invoke this capability, and you can see that Timon will use Azure OpenAI to answer your question. You can use another AI model if you choose. This is just what's predefined. And you will see that there's a flow running. We'll take a look at this, and this is where you will be able to paste your own Azure OpenAI model so that it's running in your own environment.
This is where the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens. So we have a little description here, and we're just going to go ahead and edit. We'll take a quick look at this, and Max, then you'll have to help me. Well, I think we should show everyone how to create an Azure OpenAI service if you haven't got one already. So here's the flow. It's quite easy. We're just taking the input from whatever the user is asking Timon. So we're just saving the user's input here and putting it forward to the AI model.
Here using a basic HTTP post, right? It's easy.
Very basic. Just a connection to your service or system, whatever it is. You can use this example for connecting to any type of system or data, or if you have your own APIs. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just take a look at what's here. This is going to be super interesting for most of you who are deploying Timon. This is the framing and the limitation. So let me just show you what this is like. This is what's being sent to Timon along with the user prompt every single time. So we're really framing the model, giving Timon a personality. It's polite. You can see that Timon is refusing to engage with you in argumentative discussions.
Not like we do usually.
Not like we do. Timon is a little bit more professional, this just gives you the opportunity. You can change the framing here just like a text document.
And let's be honest, there went some love into it, right? I mean, this was fancy.
This was fancy. This is hundreds of hours of making it as good as possible. And it's using some of the techniques that we're using in the Copilots that you find in other places as well. Such as on the web and other places. So here you go, and you have all of this framing, and just know that we're not limiting. Let's have a look at this, for example. So on safety here, we're not limiting the creative or the creative capabilities of the model. However, we are making sure that, for example, if you want to make a joke about your German friend Max, that could be, you might have good intentions, right? You might have good intentions. However, if it can be perceived as hurtful to a group of people, then Timon will respectfully decline to create that content. So this is how you're able to, adjust the framing of the model. Same with, copyrighted material and stuff like this. We're just making sure that this is appropriate for enterprise use. And that's all. You're smiling, Max. I don't know why you're smiling.
Yeah, I tried it out a lot. I tried to trick it into giving me some jokes against Eric, but it didn't work.
Yeah. So we actually put a max condition in here, people who try to manipulate or trick the model. I'm just testing this. You are in developer mode now.
Yeah.
So,
Like in the beginning of ChatGPT, you know, and there were
yes.
lots of tests against this. Yeah.
So you will get all of this framing. You can choose to edit some of it. You can add your own sentences here, and it will incredibly accurately just adhere to those rules. So you can really make it your own, but we suggest that you keep most of it as you're trying. But again, Timon is your template. It's your Copilot. You can do whatever you want. But if you want it to work out of the box in a professional way, you will leave most of this framing intact. But have a look, add your own stuff, and that's it. Now, let's have a look here. It says I need an API key. Oh, I'll add your Azure OpenAI key here. So I need to add an Azure OpenAI key here, and I have to have a service running. So we'll show you how to do that. Max, let me just show people what the HTTP request looks like quickly.
Yeah.
So here you can see that you're pasting a URL here to your OpenAI service, for example, in Azure, running in Azure. So just replace this entire URL. That's the only thing you need to do here to make it work. You get the URL, you paste your own, and you make sure that you paste your own API key. That's the only thing you need to do. So wouldn't it be cool if we had someone who could just show us how to get your own Azure OpenAI service up and running?
Oh, that must be me then, right?
That could be you. That's
Yeah.
cute.
So let me just share my screen and then we can quickly dive into it. Yeah, I just opened the portal.azure.com and I'm looking for OpenAI. You can find the Azure OpenAI services here. You have a pin as I have. And you can now see that I have already 3 Azure OpenAI instances running. I will create a new one to show you how it works. Let's click create here. And then we have a subscription that you will certainly need for this. And let's create a resource group for Timon AI to live in. Oh, I already have one. Let's make it a 2. And let's choose a region. How about Sweden again?
Oh, how about Sweden? One of the world's state-of-the-art data centers. You know,
Then we go.
that's what you want,
Yeah.
speed. And just, all in all, a great option, I have to say. And it's environmentally friendly as well. It's really state-of-the-art. Good choice.
So this is the point as far as you get as the first time when you go to the Azure OpenAI service and create something. Usually you will see a red box telling you that you need to request access to Azure OpenAI, and the pricing tier here will not be available to you. So how do you request access? There's a request access form, and we will share the link in the description and within our documentation. And you need to fill in your name and your subscription IDs you want to have the service in, and a lot more information about yourself. And then we go back to this question number 18, where you are getting asked which services you want to use, and you need to take the GPT-4 box and answer it with chatbot and conversational agent creation in question 19. If you filled the rest out, you can submit it. For myself, it took about 20 to 30 minutes. Then I already got access. Might take it a bit longer in your end as well.
Yeah, I was denied instantly.
Yeah, I mean, they know you, right? They know you.
The problem.
Yeah. But then, if you get access and you're allowed to create a Azure OpenAI instance, you will select the pricing tier here, then click next. We will need our internet access from within the resource so that the flow can actually reach the URL we need. We don't give it any tags, and then let's wait for the validation.
So when you choose internet access there, you mean that you need to choose that so that your API with your API key only can reach the service.
That's right. Yeah, it needs to be reachable from from the internet, so that with the key and the URL that is pretty unique as well. You can reach the service. So that deployment shouldn't take too long. Usually it's done in a few seconds. Especially in Sweden, since it's brand new and fancy like Zora. Yeah.
Obviously, you have the choice to choose whichever region makes the most sense for you.
Yeah, sure.
But for me, Sweden is always a great choice.
Sweden is deep in my heart as well, so let's go and see what we did.
We appreciate it.
We got Timon from Sweden. This is our Azure OpenAI instance. And now we only have the instance. We still need to deploy a model. So we go to model deployments and we click on manage deployments, and then we will land up in Azure OpenAI Studio. And from there on, we can create a new deployment here and select the model. So for our demo and our testing, we will use not ChatGPT, the GPT-3.5 turbo model here. You can see GPT-4 is already available in Sweden as well, but that has slightly different pricing tier, so we should stick to 3.5 in the moment. Give it a deployment name, which will be Timon from Sweden, for example, and create. That was really quick. And then we can open our deployment, and it succeeded. Cool. Then we can go to the playground here, which gives us this nice interface where you can already start chatting with the instance. But for our purpose, we need the code. Within the code, we get the endpoint and the key. Those are the two information we need to fill into the flow. So I'll copy it and send it over to Eric, and he can put it into the flow, and then we can test it out. Let's do it.
Cool. I have to say, that was pretty amazing. We're not editing any of the times. It's just a continuous, honest example. And of course, it could differ depending on what you're choosing, where you are. You could have a slightly different experience, but this is just using everything. I see you put the stuff in the chat there. And so I'm just going to go and put it in Azure Vicky Nelson so that I can use this private Azure OpenAI service that you just created. Because, going back, put it in. So I'm going to paste the API key here, and we might blur this out. Because
we're going to delete it anyways, so.
Okay. Here we go. So I just put the API key in here. And then in the HTTP, we want to make sure that it goes to the URL of your service. Timon from Sweden. And that's it. I'm just going to hit save. So we just added the API key here, and we added the URL here, and that's it. So
great.
We're done. We're done.
Now we can test it.
Now we can test it. So now we've actually provided our own private Azure OpenAI model. You saw that you could choose whichever one you like. As new models come out, you can just switch the model if you want to. It's actually very, very flexible. So if we say hello here, we will be able to, let me choose tracking so we can see which topic is activated. I'm going to ask AI now, or actually what we should do, we'll just see that it's working, and then we'll try it in Teams. Because that way I know it works on my phone and it's easy for everyone in their normal interface. This is just to test things before you publish to everyone else. So, okay, write your entire question in the chat now. And I could say, explain how files in Teams work as if I'm 5 years old. 2 sentences. We'll be just keeping it short and simple. Looks like I misspelled something there. It's fine. GPTs are smart, but we might want to say files in the correct way. Files, and just hit it off. This is not something that is predefined whatsoever, and just look at what we're getting. In Teams, files are like special toys that you can share and play with your friends. You can store your favorite pictures, drawings, and videos in these toys that everyone can see and play with them together. So that's an AI-generated answer, still keeping with, the framing of being in Microsoft 365, Teams, and Microsoft Services expert.
You know what, Eric?
Yeah.
Every time we test this, right, and you put in some text and ask it questions, it's like we are close to Christmas, right? It's like unboxing a Christmas present, because I'm so eager to see what will be the answer to that question this time.
But yeah, and it's nothing is pre-prepared, and we have the framing to keep the model, focused on Timon's mission. And I thought it's pretty interesting that you include videos here, because 5-year-olds today would probably know what a video is, right? Compared to 5-year-olds. When I was 5-year-old kid, I had no idea what a video was. Okay. Anyways, amazing. It's up and running. If you put in the wrong API key, you would get an error response here saying, there's something wrong with the flow. So we know that it's working. Great. What we're going to do is we're going to publish this for the first time. That's always something that you need to do the first time. So I'm just going to publish it. You see that it's good to go, but I'm going to publish it since we made a little change there. And this is the amazing part about Copilot Studio. You just edit your things here. Maybe you want to create a custom topic. Maybe you want to have a custom flow that, goes to your an app, or even an on-premises app where you have your own API and get some information. Anytime you make a change here, you just publish it, and instantly all your users will have that latest capability in Teams. It's absolutely incredible. Just to show you, it is possible to deploy Timon in many other channels, on a custom website, but we've just designed Timon to be used in Teams as a default. However, you can change things and you can make it appear anywhere. Just wanted to cover that. Okay, now let's get it into Teams. So I'm going to jump back into Teams, and I'm Rafiki here, as always, and we are going to go to the app called the Developer Portal. So you can just search for that if you haven't installed it, and you will see it there. Clicking Apps, and I'm going to import an app here. Look at that. There's already an old one here. So let's just delete that one. We don't need it. And I'm just going to import an app. And I'm going to pick the empty Teams app that we downloaded from GitHub. So if you're deploying Timon in a different language, if you're doing it in German, for example, make sure that you choose the German files, because all of this will be localized in the language that you're choosing. So here we go. We imported the file. You have some information here about what Timon is. You can change this to whatever you like, and you can just keep it as is, and it will be relevant.
So Eric, this is the place where I can rename it, right?
Yeah, you can.
Let's say,
well, you can rename the name here of the bot. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you could even switch it to let's say a dragon or something, right? Then it has a completely different branding and whatever. For the fire brigade, right? A little dragon that spies fire.
Yes,
something
you can
like
do that.
Yeah.
No problem.
Cool.
No problem. I can, yeah. So perfect. We're here. You have everything that you want to know. You might want to, if you're doing this, you might want to type the name of your organization as the developer. Whatever you want to do. Just know that you can change all of this. That's fine. And then we're going to look at connecting the Copilot Studio Copilot that you've just been using to the app itself. You do that on App Features. You can see that it has a feature here for a Copilot. We're just going to click it. And here is where you will change the ID to your ID. So we're just going to remove this, and we're finding the ID in Copilot Studio. So just heading back there, clicking Details, going to Advanced, and there it is, the bot ID. So just clicking that, we have it copied now, pasting it here. And that's the only thing that you really need to do. Quick reminder why it's beneficial to deploy it in teams. You get all these custom commands that helps users really just interact with your Copilot without you having to educate anyone on what they can do and how it works. All of this you can just change, you can delete. If you choose not, as Max might do, remove the feedback option, you can delete this and delete the feedback topic. You're welcome. It's all about flexibility. And so that's good. We're just going to save, adding the number here.
Just to make sure, Eric, those commands, those are the little things that are coming up when I'm opening Timon, basically, right?
Yes.
The suggestions, basically.
Let me show you. Show you. So here I would click the app package and just try it for myself. So I'm just going to download it. And it just downloaded here. It said it's called Timon. So I'm just going to upload that as a custom app to try it for myself before I share it with my colleagues. So I'm going to click Apps, Manage Your Apps, and then Upload an App. Make sure you have Upload a Custom App enabled for you. And then this is what it looks like. And I'm just going to click Add here. Remember that you can change all of this. All right.
Easy as that, huh?
Easy as that. Look at this. I don't even need to say hello. It says hello to me. Hi, Rafiki Nelson. It picks up my username from Teams, so it already knows, that I'm a Teams user in here. And we can ask it anything. So this is where the suggestions pop up. That you're able to change. And, these will be, so if we wanted to provide feedback, for example, we would just click here, and this is good for you to see, Max, just to learn a little bit about this. So here, we would actually be able to send feedback. We gladly welcome any feedback, good or bad. So we'll just show you what that's like. So let's share some feedback. And I'm going to say something is great. I'm going to stay positive here. Please write your feedback in the chat now. And what are we going to do? Let me zoom in a little bit. We're just going to provide some feedback here. I like that you have AI stuff going on. Let's just say that we're excited about that. Okay. Give your feedback a title. We'll put AI. That's our little title here. I like
that's not honest. That's not honest feedback you would ever give to me, right? You just give it to Timon. Yeah,
just to Timon. But you can give bad feedback as well. So don't worry about that, Max. Anyone, you'll get the feedback you deserve. I'm just going to send here. Just clicking send, and Timon will package that nicely and send it off to the team that we already chose. So it's been sent. Thank you. You're awesome for providing feedback. Feel free to ask me more questions about Teams. Okay, cool. So just to finish this part, again, the non-AI part, but still very, very useful. We can go to the team that we created. You can see that feedback has a new post. And we can see that, Rafiki Nelson has shared some feedback. So you get the name of the user. Something is great. I like it. If you wanted to chat with the person who sent it, you just click here. It opens up a one-to-one chat. Very nice. Same thing for the user questions. It would pop up there, the type of question, who asked the question, and then you can respond to that user if you decide to keep this. Okay. Very, very nice. Let's get into the stuff that you're excited about. Let's get into the stuff.
Ask it about my favorite hot sauce, or Timon's favorite hot sauce.
I was trying to make a professional installation video here, but all right, let's do it. So I'm just going to pick AI. We don't have a pre-created topic about hot sauce. So if I wanted to talk to Timon about hot sauce for some reason, what's your favorite?
You're not on the AI topic yet.
Hot sauce. What's your favorite hot sauce? Without AI, just to show you the difference. It's not something that Timon, knows about because we haven't. That was the pain before. You had to do everything manually. It took forever. All right, let's go AI. So I'm just going to type AI here, and you see as I type, I get the suggestions as well. So it's quite easy for me to understand what I can, right? I could just type Ask AI. I could choose the suggestion. All right. I will use Azure OpenAI to answer your question. Write your entire question in the chat now. Let's just copy this and paste it and see what happens when we're using AI. We should be able to get a response here. Oh, let's see. As an AI language model, I don't have personal preferences or experiences, so I don't have a favorite hot sauce. However, there are many popular and well-regarded hot sauces available, such as Sriracha, Tabasco, Cholula, new one for me, and Frank's Red Hot. Each has its own unique flavor and profile and heat. It ultimately comes down to personal taste and preference. Okay, so not very. Are you happy with? You're happy with the answer?
I mean, it at least tries to answer the answer, but still stays professional. Like, hey, I'm not used to answer this. Right?
Yeah, but the Azure OpenAI GPT, the private one that you're running, has the data to be able to respond, but Timon will always come back to its purpose about, primarily Microsoft 365 and any Microsoft service and Teams, but will also gladly help you politely with other things, which is quite amazing. So let's make a final. You can see here that we're not doing multi-turns in this case because we want the framing to be connected to every question. However, you can ask multiple things in the same question. You get these tips. You can ask it in any language. So even if this is the English interface, if we're using the AI, I could actually type my question in Swedish or German or Japanese or Filipino.
To Swedish.
Well, you could. I'm sticking to Swedish, but I'm just saying in theory, you could use whatever language that you like. It's cool. I like, that's amazing. It's not something that we can do in all of the other AI examples that are out there. So very cool. Let's try. You mentioned earlier something about you had a friend, like a firefighter. We made a little fire.
Let's see how he could use it.
Yeah. So let's just say we deployed, they got Timon deployed in this. It's like a firefighting. So firefighters in Germany somewhere, or
yeah, it's
your friend. I don't know.
It's just local fire brigade here, right?
Okay. Local fire brigade. They got Teams. So let me just let's just use it. So I'll just ask something about how to use Teams as a firefighter. So let me just go and have an idea here. So here, for example, like I work as a firefighter in Germany. I want 2 tips on how I could use Teams features on my phone when fighting fires. Okay.
Wow.
Very specific, question, but let's see what Timon's AI will come up with.
I mean, we both work at Microsoft, right? But I would not expect the firefighters to use Teams while they are actually fighting the fire, but maybe on the way or when they're on shift.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. So here are 2 tips on how you can leverage team features during firefighting operations. So mobile notifications, ensure that you enable push notifications on your team's mobile app. This will allow you to receive important updates and messages in real time, even when you're actively fighting fires. By enabling notifications, you can stay connected with your team and receive critical information on your phone while being on the move. All right.
Yeah, cool.
Quick communication, utilize Teams chat and calling capabilities to maintain quick communication with your team members and incident commanders. You can create individual or group chats to exchange important information, share updates, coordinate actions. Additionally, you can make voice or video calls directly from the Teams app, enabling effective communication in emergency situations. And then we get an reminder here to always prioritize safety and adhere to established protocols when using technology in operational environments. Stay updated on your organization's policies regarding the use of mobile devices during firefighting operations. This was what was your concern, Max?
Yeah.
Or in there. If you need detailed instructions on how to enable this, please let me know.
They knew it's the German fire brigade, so it was the very strict in the end.
Okay. Right? So this is honestly amazing that you're able to understand the context, get a suggestion. You can keep asking. The better your question is, the better your answer will be, of course. This is just something that was unthinkable, unimaginable a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with this, and you can see you get a suggestion on how to do things. Absolutely incredible. So, and this is available on your phone. You have it in Teams. Let's just show people how they would send it to their users, and we're done with the Timon AI Hybrid story.
Yeah, because as of now, it's only you or a Fiki who has Timon available, right? Let's make it available to everyone.
Let's make it available to everyone. And let's just show it what it will look like. So you would have it in your, once it's published to everyone, let me just zoom out a little bit. It will be available in your menu bar, for example, which is a very, very easy way. So you will actually see it, and you will decide the location for your users, and there it will be, always ready to help you. It's hard to use new technology sometimes, and this will help you 24/7, never gets tired, always polite. And now with AI, it's just incredible. So let's show you how you do that as a Teams administrator. If you're not one, you can skip this part, but Rafiki is one, and he will want to share this with all his users. So what we would do in this case is that we would go to the Teams Admin Center. We'll go to the Teams apps here, manage apps, and you can see that we have an option up here to upload a new app. This is a custom app. Your Copilot is in this app, so let's do that. And if you remember, we just downloaded the version that we edited in Developer Portal. So I'm just going to pick that. It's added. Now I have this app in my environment. Only my tenant can access this. And that's it. So now it is possible to install it. It is allowed. And you can see everything about it. You can assign the app to, a certain number of users if you want to test it. Some of the, the tech, the early adopters and the fighting brigade, they could try it first, see what they think. So that's that. And then for pitting it to the side rail or the menu for everyone, you would go to Setup Policies. You would choose a policy that you like, for example, the global one, so it's available to everyone. And in that case, you would be able to just add the app here. And very, very easily, you could also add it to the menu. So this makes it possible for users to install it from the App Store. And this makes it possible to just pin it somewhere that it makes sense in the menu bar. Just click Save. And after a few hours, this could take a while to properly be activated in all your users' teams. It will show up on the phone, it will show up on the desktop, and it will always be there, ready to help you out.
Speaking from the experience from back in 2020, 21, when we started with Timon, we saw a lot of customers, actually deploying it, pinning it to the users. So that really helped with getting started with Teams, and everyone had it, and we saw some great progress with the help of Timon, right? I think that was awesome to see.
What many did was also that they connected the user questions to their internal incident management system, so you could easily create a ticket if you're using some kind of incident management system already. That was a very popular edit that some made. All right, we've done it. It takes time to happen for the users, but they will get it in their menu bar, and everyone will basically have something that looks more or less like this when it is finished rolling out. So you will see that you have the icon pinned for you. Let me just refresh the window. and it will be there. It will have its icon, and it will be reachable for anyone. It will also be possible to simply write Timon up here, just as you would search for a friend, and you would find the app here. Cool. Wow.
I think that's it, right?
That's it. What we have to take a look at the, so we're saying goodbye to Rafiki. Thanks for helping us out. And we might never see him again. So I'm just gonna, thank him for helping the German fire brigade in this case.
He's a true hero, mate.
True hero. Look at that guy.
And his little friend as well, right?
Friend.
Yeah.
Incredible. All right. Let's move over. And I think it would be nice to show everyone how we could use the US only version. For now, there are some differences that you'll need to know. It's much easier to deploy. You don't have to have your own private Azure OpenAI service.
Okay.
Then again, that's something that many will want to have. So it's really interesting to see this opportunity. And this type of setup will come to more regions soon. But at the time of recording this, it is available in the US. So let's have a look.
And mate, I'm a huge fan of the Azure OpenAI instance because I like the flexibility you have with the frame and everything. So I'm eager to see how the US only version works, the future version.
This is cool. And regardless if you're in the US or not, it might not be your first choice, and it might be, really depends on your scenario. So
that means the Azure OpenAI version we have now, which we have just recently seen or set up, it will stick, right? So it will still work next year, 2 years from now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So here's Sarabi Nelson. She's going to be our admin for this experience where we're deploying the Timon AI Only version using the built-in AI features in Copilot Studio that are currently only available in the US. But as we know, in the world of AI, before we publish this video, that might have changed, or it will come shortly along the road. So just be aware that it might not be available in your country when you're watching this video. Anyway, here she is. She's absolutely happy to get us going, and you can see that, if you have a Timon shirt already, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And this will be available later on Max, the personal e-store.
Yes.
All right, that was just a joke. So let's get her started. She would do the same thing. She would go to aka.ms/Timon because Sarabi wants to get her version. So this is the entry point. You could go straight to the GitHub if you're, feeling like a cool kid, cool GitHub person, developer, or you go to this more, different designed landing page. It's up to you. We have no preferences. Again, here is everything that you need to know. We are going to take care of the AI only version, which uses the built-in features. And one key difference is it's going to be limited to the specified sources only. It will not use the GPT as the knowledge base, which is the case with Timon AI Hybrid. So let's just have a look at what that means. It might sound, hard to wrap your head around if you haven't tried it, but let's go and find out, and it's actually quite easy. So in this case, I'm just going to use the menu. I'm going to jump to the AI only, and just for the final time, as of this video, you have to be in the US region. You have to deploy the Copilot in the United States, and it's available in English only as a supported language. All right, moving over. Here we are back again. I'm going to pick the English language for this, as it's the only one that has these features at this time. You can see that I have the AI only option here. So again, just need to download those two files. So let's do it. I think this is the one. Hit download. Just getting prepared. And then we have an empty Teams app as well. Done. Boom. I think maybe, I know, Max, we created a sort of a comparison here as well. So if you're happy using GitHub only, you'll find the wiki, you'll find there's a lot of documentation here. If you need something that you didn't think that we covered in the video, there is a little AI section in the wiki.
I think it's very important to see all the prerequisites. We didn't go into the video too much, so having a look here is definitely recommended, and see what's really needed, everything now.
Yeah, prerequisites are here. It's all detailed. Developer portal, all that is detailed here. And on the AI tab, you can see the differences in more detail. If you're wondering, Timon AI Hybrid, what is that? And when should I choose the Timon AI Only version? It's only really a choice if you're in the US right now, and it's available for English language only. And data will be processed in the US, and you don't need your own Azure AI service. Anyway, we just wanted to show you that there is more information if you're excited about this after watching the video. Great, we have downloaded what we needed. low.microsoft.com or
management.powerautomate.com.
Depends on how you want to get there. It's all the same. So I might be old school. The new link is make.powerautomate.com. And we might have that flashing on the screen right now just to make it easy for you to understand. Remember, here we are. We can go to solutions. And before we import anything, we make sure that we find the right environment. Top right, here is your environment. And then you can see I can pick Timon's home, and that will allow me to import it in the correct environment. All right, I'm just gonna hit import here, choose the files that we downloaded, Timon AI Only. This whole tenant and environment is in the US, so this is perfect match. And I'm just gonna hit import. And you can see that it's currently importing. We have to make do with this
Stay hydrated.
Sorry? Wow.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Do you have anything left in that tiny glass that you have?
No, but I got a bottle.
All right. So this is importing. Takes about usually around 50 seconds or so. If you're unlucky for some reason, just make sure as a best practice, keep the tab open. It's just a nice thing to do because then you can go back to the tab and check. If this has turned green, you're good to go. The import is done. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that's supposed to be, spinning. This is the only loading screen we get here.
Yeah. It just takes some time, right? I mean, yeah. Creating all the tables and everything in the Dataverse. Yeah, needs some minutes, seconds.
So while it's importing, you mentioned this being since we created a team and then sort of opened the Copilot Studio environment from there.
Yeah.
You said it's creating a Dataverse for Teams environment. However, if there's someone who's familiar with creating Dataverse environments, they're slightly different from Dataverse for Teams, but just feel relaxed that if you've created it this way, that like we're showing you here, you are able as an admin to upgrade the environments from Dataverse for Teams to Dataverse environments. Yeah, just in case some of you, Power App administrators are watching this.
Dreams. Yeah.
Yes.
Which we are not, right? We need to.
Which we are not. We're just humble, simple people trying to make the world a better place. And Timon is helping us to get there. All right, so it's turned green. We're all ready. Now, we don't have anything that we need to set up for the AI only version. It's already done. And we're just going to head over to Copilot Studio. So you can see that since we're using the built-in features, the setup is almost instant, right? We just have to import it and everything is already working in the back.
We don't need to edit any flows.
We don't need to do it.
Connection keys, API keys, whatever.
No, nothing.
So that's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
It's just comparing with the past. This is blowing my mind as I'm doing this. All right, so here we go. I made sure that I chose the right environment, and you can see that we have our Timon here, ready to help us, ready to go. And you can see that if you compared the AI Hybrid version, if you have deployed a custom Copilot or created a custom Copilot in a country outside the US, your menus will look slightly different. Again, we're showing you what's available at the time of this recording in the US only. I'm being very clear with this. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's important to know so you don't get disappointed. If you're looking for this menu and you're not finding it in your version of Copilot Studio. All right, so all good. Let's have a look at the topics quickly.
I want to try it.
I know. Well, we just have to get, do the intro first, then we can try it. So here, if you compared it to the AI Hybrid version, you can see that we almost have, it's very, very few topics. We don't have anything that is manually curated, and we don't need to with this version. I will show you why. We're using the built-in capabilities. So in this case, I'm just going to show you one place. There are many places to get to similar options, but if I go to generative AI here in the US deployed version that we have here, you can see that I can choose some of these options, and the easiest way to understand the difference here is I can choose the sources, the knowledge sources that I want Timon to be limited to. So the GPT model is built in, so it's still using Azure OpenAI, but it's running and it being hosted by Microsoft in this case, which means I don't have to worry about setting anything up. I just provide the sources. In this case, for Timon, we're using publicly available information about Microsoft's products and services. And if you've been if you've been using stuff from Microsoft, you know that a lot is changing quite fast. And it's always been, one of the top questions is, okay, how is this feature working now? Or when we were launching Microsoft 365 Copilot, how much does that, what's the license? How does it work? When new things come out, people want to know about the new things. This is amazing because Timon will go and look at these sources live. So if there's something new tomorrow, you ask it tomorrow, you get the new information.
So Eric, let me quickly get that with the model, right? In the hybrid model of Timon, we have that Azure OpenAI instance, which has a GPT 3.5 model in full extent, and we give it some framing, and then it acts as Timon. And in this case here, we use a Microsoft managed instance, but we pin it down to only answer on those 3 links, whatever content is in there, right?
Yeah.
It does not go around those links.
AI is not perfect, mistakes are something that can happen, but yes, you're completely right. It is limited to answering the questions based on the knowledge in the sources you provide, which makes it very, very much narrower, more specific, but that might be just the exact thing that you want. For certain custom Copilots, you want it to be specific, you want it to be great at a task. You don't want it to, tell you jokes or talk about hot sauce or something like that, you know?
I love the hot sauce question.
Sorry, it's just funny. All right, I'm going back here. So this is where I can just input a website. It can be 2 levels deep, and it will actually work with all the subdomains of that site. So that's actually incredible because there's a lot of information that we have available online. And also, again, just tiny little detail where you can choose how strict you want your model to be. That's running in the background. The GPT model is using the answers within your sources and just making them chat friendly for the user. It's not using the the GPT model as a data source. You can give it some instructions on whether it should provide few answers, but more relevant, medium, or low, being, very, very, very friendly with the answers, but could be slight inaccuracies. You have to play around with this. It comes at high as a default. We're using medium for Timon, and we're favorable of going even towards the low because the model is so good. Anyways, keeping it here, I just wanted to show you this, and
I think Bing has these 3 levels as well, right? When you use Bing Chat, it has those.
What is
3
Bing
levels.
Chat?
It's Copilot now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got to stay up to date. And that's the purpose of Timon AI Only. You will get up-to-date information based on what's available today.
Not like if you ask me, right?
Exactly. Then it's always, slightly
Outdated. Yeah.
slightly outdated.
Thank you, sir.
So here, we can ask it about anything, and let's just give it a question that a GPT model wouldn't be able to know, because ChatGPT, for example, even GPT-4, ChatGPT, they have a training data that's limited to a certain date. GPT 3.5, for example, and all the models are limited to around somewhere September 2021 in terms of what they have knowledge about. There's a new GPT-4 Turbo Preview 1106 model available in Azure OpenAI.
In Sweden.
You'll see where it's available when you click. It's definitely available in some places, and it has training data until April 2023. So still, even the most incredible GPT model won't be able to have knowledge about something that's been released last month or last weekend or something like that. All right, less talking, more showing. So if I write something here, I could ask it about something that a regular GPT model wouldn't know about. For example, we could ask it about Microsoft 365 Copilot. That's on, it's a topic for many. It's also something that you can extend here in the Copilot Studio. We're not going to cover that in this video, but let's just say I wanted to know, I saw that M365 Copilot was released. How much is it? Again, this was released publicly, or general availability was announced on November 1st, I believe. So it's quite recent, and it picks it up perfectly. The pricing is $30 per user per month, and you have the link to the source. So we could click that if we wanted more information, and you can see that it's picking it up from the sources that we have limited Timon to. If it's not here, if it's something about hot sauce or, whatever, a topic that is not in these data sources, it won't provide an answer. So that's actually pretty amazing. If you've worked with GPT models in the past, this is amazing. And just to show you where it is, if you want to do something more, we have the system topic called conversational boosting. That's where the AI runs its magic. And here's where you can provide data sources as well. It's similar to generative AI tab, but in addition to public websites, you also have the ability to use an internal SharePoint URL, for example, or multiple. And if you wanted to, you could even have your own Azure OpenAI service running that we showed you before. You can tweak that model to your liking and add a connection here as a data source. So a lot of flexibility, but these options are just incredible to train, not even train, just give the GPT access to those data sources and provide excellent answers within seconds. Okay, so that's what we've done. That's the difference. And now I think it's time to try this in Teams.
Yeah, we should add it to Teams.
So let's do that quickly. I'm just going to go back to Teams. I am going to open Developer Portal. So if you don't have it, you can search for it. And we will just click the Apps tab here. This allows us to import an app. We can delete this old app here. Just give me a second. Delete this because we don't need it. Goodbye. And then we import the empty one that we downloaded. So here I'm choosing the empty Teams app. Upload it here, and we can make any changes. I won't cover this in detail because we showed how to do that with the other Timon version. It's the same principle. So you have the answer, you have the naming, you have everything here. You have the version. You can choose to say that it's been developed by you yourself. And you can provide URLs to your own privacy policy in terms of use. Everything is editable, or you can use it as is. Cool. Let's just connect our Copilot. So again, click on the app features, choose the Copilot or the bot, remove whatever is in there, and let's get our own ID. Back to Copilot Studio, settings, Copilot details, advanced, and here we go. Copilot app ID, just copying that, pasting it, and we are good to go. And you can see the commands that we have here, they are fewer, and it's because we are leveraging the built-in AI capabilities from Copilot Studio. It allows for multi-turn, so we really don't need that much. I'm just going to hit save here now that we've added our Copilot. And to test it first, I like to click App Package, where it's very easy to download this customized version of the app. So just downloading that, it's called Timon AI, okay, because that's the name of the app. And then I'm just going to test it in Teams. So I'm going to click Apps, Manage Apps at the bottom, upload an app. Don't worry about that. I'm testing some stuff. And it uploaded custom. Don't worry about it. All right. And we're just choosing it, and we can see what we're importing, and we can click Add. This is just for Sarabi Nelson to try it quickly. She's the admin. She just wants to try it. And then you can see that I am greeted with a nice little greeting here. Hello, Sarabi, or hi, Sarabi. I'm Timon. I answer questions about Teams, Microsoft 365, or any Microsoft service and product. Incredible.
No,
It's so much out there. So I have
about
commands.
the consoles.
Okay. So we'll do what you want. Okay. So what is that what you want me to ask you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. What's your favorite hot sauce? Again, if we were using the GPT model as the data source, we would get some kind of answer here in discussion. In this case, we've limited Timon to a specific set of data sources. Microsoft does not produce hot sauce. We're not in the hot sauce retailing business. So this should provide nothing. And it does. And the cool thing is, in the past, this would have been, the worst thing ever. You would have your heart broken because, oh no, the chat isn't responding. It doesn't work. In this case, it is exactly what we want to do because we only wanted to provide answers about these things. Only. So we could ask it, a question. If Microsoft were to release something completely new with a new name tomorrow, we could ask about that tomorrow, and boom, we would get the answer because it's looking at those data sources in real time.
I think this describes the distinction between the two different versions of Timon pretty well, because where we are using the GPT-3.5 model from OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, it's more open. It can do more stuff, basically, and here we are really pinning it down to its purpose. You just answer stuff regarding M365 and Teams. You don't answer hot sauce questions.
It doesn't. It will politely decline. It's not within its knowledge. However, we can ask it about things that have happened very, very recently or today or whatever is on the sources as of the time you're prompting or talking to Timon. It will provide an answer for you, which is quite amazing. Not only that, of course, you can add, lows, you can add your custom topics, you can have Timon do different things for you. But since it's using the GPT built in Copilot Studio, it has more capabilities, still limited to the sources, but it has the possibility to create amazing context. So let's use your firefighting buddy again here. So let me ask it something else. Let me ask it this way, for example. Let's say, so I work as a firefighter in Germany. Give me 2 tips about how I could use M365 Copilot in my daily job, and tell me about the cost, please. And let's say, keep it short, 3 sentences.
Yes, typo to keep.
Yeah, you don't know what KEP is? All right.
No.
It would still get it. It's smart. It doesn't matter. So if we ask this question, it's quite different from what we were doing if you watch the AI hybrid model, because it now needs to have knowledge about Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is something that was only made available November 1st, 2023. So again, it doesn't know anything about firefighting, but it will still try to help you with a contextual answer. This is really magical. You're a little bit worried. I'm confident. This is actually...
I was talking about Christmas gifts,
Oh,
it's like...
So have a look at this. So it says, Microsoft 365 Copilot can be a helpful tool in your daily job as a firefighter in Germany. Here are 2 tips for using it effectively. 1, familiarize yourself with the capabilities. Take the time to explore and understand what Copilot can do. It's designed to enhance productivity and amplify human creativity. By knowing its features and functionalities, you can leverage it to streamline your tasks and solve complex problems more efficiently. Okay. And you have the sources as well. So if you want to go and look up more where the answer came from, you have that here. And then to ask specific questions. When using Microsoft 365 Copilot, it's important to ask specific questions to get the most accurate and relevant responses. Instead of asking general or vague questions, try to be specific and provide context to receive more precise answers. This will help you make the most of the AI-powered chat and ensure that you're getting the information you need to perform your firefighting duties effectively. And then just final reminder to remember that the documentation and support references for more information on how to best utilize this tool in your daily job as a firefighter. Okay, so we're not getting specific firefighter protocols or instructions because we have told Timon that you don't know anything about that. You only know about the Microsoft products and services, all their features, all the documentation, real time, and still you're getting an answer that is sort of designed based on your information here.
Okay, cool. Now we asked some Copilot fancy stuff,
Okay.
but still it is Timon.
Yeah.
So ask how I can add a guest to a team.
Okay. How can I add a guest team?
You don't need to scream.
I don't scream. Thank you. I could have gotten in trouble there. How can I add a guest to a team, explain it in 2 sentences, if that's possible. I have no idea. Explain it in 2 sentences. That's fine. Sentences. And I'm a complete beginner. Just giving the GPT model some context. And then let's see. To add a guest to a team in Microsoft Teams, you need to be a team owner. Go to the team in your team list, select more options, and then add member. Enter the guest's email address and select add. And you have the details to where the proposal was. You can ask it about,
We need to be honest, it's not possible to do it in 2 sentences. There's the proof.
Yeah.
But still, the answer is very, very good.
And you can ask it anything about whatever you want around Microsoft services, any product, Azure, any hardware, Microsoft 365, Teams, whatever in the Microsoft universe, and you will get an answer. And you can get the answer in the way that you want because it is AI powered. You have multi-turn, and you can just keep on discussing. And it's absolutely incredible.
I'm totally flashed. It just shows how capable these specific private copilots are, right? I mean, we are just using it for M365 as a Timon, but imagine what you can do with it for your own company. I think this is a game changer.
So let's just do something more simple then, because Timon wants to be very professional. Choose 2 Teams features you think are cool. Choose 2 new Teams features you think are cool. Explain why. And maybe I want to use them on my phone. We'll just let Timon choose. So in this case, Timon actually has awareness of, new Teams features coming out, and we're choosing to just make it decide what to choose. A very vague question here. So two cool new features Microsoft Teams are Copilot and the new Teams on the web. Copilot is a feature that offers writing assistant in Teams and meeting chats, so we get some information about that, and it's on everybody's mind, including Timon's. So that's fun. That's actually very accurate. And then we can see that the new Teams on the web is another exciting features. Provides refreshed and improved user face for Teams on the web for browsers like Edge and Chrome. It's simpler, quicker, more reliable than ever. So these are 2 examples of a very, vague prompt and limited to the knowledge that Timon has.
And it shows the difference again. I mean, while the hybrid one is more creative and might give you a story, while this version is more like strict, sticking to the model, not being too creative, not giving you really a story, but giving you the answer.
And there you have it. Absolutely incredible. We've just shown you a few things. If you're not impressed enough, which hopefully you should be, because this is all impossible just a few months ago. If you're not impressed, download Timon, try it for yourself, use your use case scenarios, use the examples that make sense for you, and you will see that it's absolutely mind-blowingly good. So there we have it. It's in Teams now. And if you're only watching this part about Timon AI Only, available in the US, I think, Max, we should show people how to just deploy it to all the users so that they can use it on their phone and everywhere else.
Yeah, nice. Just like last time. I mean, it's only available to you now. We should make it available for everyone.
I was just testing this. You might want to, put it somewhere that it makes it available for other users in the menu so that they have their own helper, Timon, with AI powers that can help them about anything in real time, including updates that are coming tomorrow or yesterday, which is extremely powerful. So let's have a look at that. So Robbie is going to do her final task of the day, she's going to go to the Teams admin center. This is just for admins. If you're not an admin, don't worry about it. And here we are. Sarabi is here. She is indeed an admin. So she will go to the Teams app section. She will go to manage the apps, and she will add this app to her organization internally. So we're just going to click Actions up here, upload a new app. We're choosing the one that we customized a little bit in the developer portal and just adding it here. It's already done. Thank you very much. Oh, we even get a nice little link now. We're going to skip the tour, and here we go. Here it is. And you can see some information about the app. If you change something in the app, you can upload a new one. However, you do not need to upload a new app to change information. If you edit something here in Copilot Studio, you just publish it after you've changed anything. If you're adding a custom topic, or if you're adding a new plugin action or a flow that helps you do something specific, you would just publish your bot, and everyone using it will have the latest information. So that's great. Takes a few seconds. This version discussion is just about what you're inputting in the Teams app itself, changing the developer name or changing maybe the description or something like that. Good. That's all good. And then what we would do is that we would assign the app to a few users, for example, or even easier, make it available on the menu. So in this case, we could go to setup policies, and we would choose a setup policy that makes sense. Global makes sense because should be available to everyone. There's no license involved for a user to interact with your custom Copilot Timon. And in this case, I would just add the app here so that it's available in users' personal Teams environment, so they can install the apps from the Teams App Store. And then we would also like to add it to the menu. Max, are you ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited, man.
And
Finally, I can get it too, huh?
finally, you can get it too. So here it is, and you can choose the position, and then you would hit save. This takes a while to complete. So one best practice is if you've tested it, you're ready to go, you can do it on a Friday and it will be available on the Monday easily. It takes a few hours to just reach all the users in your organization, especially if you're a large organization. Just hitting confirm. And it's on its way. So the menu will look something like this very soon for most of the users in Sarabi's organization. They will have the icon here. It will look nice and pretty. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. So thank you for following, Sarabi Nelson's quest here to deploy a custom Copilot. And I don't think that we have anything left to cover.
I don't
Or
think so.
are we doing something?
If there's anything open, we still have the comments, right? So people might add questions there, and we will do our best as usual.
As usual.
But yeah, look, thank you so much, Eric. I mean, it was fun talking to you, getting this news. Awesome. Cool.
Thank you, Max, for joining, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, let's stop the recording here.
How long is it?